What do you think of the satin cover on it?
I was wondering what you were going to do with it.
That's a statement. You got
Something about looking into your eyes. I really wanted to answer the
what
question.
you were gonna do with it.
I was wondering, what were you gonna do with it? That's a question.
No, that's not a question.
I was wondering, semicolon.
That's a statement, man.
I was wondering, ellipses.
You made it to round 2 of verbal tennis.
All right, let's try one more. I know this is good mythical more, but hey, I want to get better at this.
Okay.
Verbal tennis, home decor. You start. I feel like I might need to close.
What do you think about the blue walls?
Are they really blue?
Are they blue from wallpaper or paint?
When did they go up?
How much does it cost?
But
you can't wait 5 seconds.
Here's my question.
You gotta start.
Here's my question. Yeah. Your question has to be related to my question.
Yeah, how much does it cost?
That didn't seem fair to me.
No, that was a slam in verbal tennis.
What did I ask? What type of blue?
You said, what type of blue is it? And I just said, is it blue from paint or wallpaper?
And then I said,
when are they, I don't know what you said. What'd you say?
I don't know. Can we do one more?
Yeah.
Have you seen the schematics?
Have you turned them in?
Why do you care if I've turned them in?
How many times are we gonna have this conversation?
You can't just bust out laughing.
Dude,
that's like
that was
the time when I'm supposed to be answering the question. You busted out laughing.
That was a forehand.
I really want to practice this, but I'm gonna do it with other people.
How many times are we gonna have this conversation? It's the ultimate verbal tennis.
I really do think that this is one of the coolest things we've ever gotten. I will read the letter.
It might be a lie, but I hope it's not.
No, it's not. And you're gonna feel bad for saying that when I read this to you. My friends, Carl C. Askins, a dear friend of mine, died 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sorry.
This is serious.
I am.
All right? He was an engineer for NASA during the 1960s. As you know, something very important happened during the 60s. The moon landing. Apollo 11, like Good Mythical Morning, was the first of its kind, something new, something big. Yeah, Joshua, I appreciate you putting us on that level, but I wanted to give you something, can I read this sentence again? Mm-hmm. It's like I'm verbal tennising it.
How many times do you need to read it?
I wanted to give you both something that was just as mythical and priceless as your show. You're being too kind.
Wow.
Enclosed is a piece of nylon cordage used by the parachute on the Columbia Command Module to bring Neil Armstrong, Buzz Aldrin, and Michael Collins to a slow descent and ultimately a safe splashdown in the Pacific Ocean. This was given to me by Carl on the occasion of his death. So the dude's on his deathbed with his friend, and he gives him a piece of the cordage that you now have. He saw that they were about to throw the parachutes away and stop the workers so that he could cut up and label parts of them. You may be wondering why I would be willing to part with something so precious. Fear not, I have 2 of them.
Oh, good.
Long live GMM. Best wishes, Joshua Adams, Rocket City, Alabama. P.S. Your show is a part of my daily routine. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, Joshua.
Yeah, that's super cool. Here's the thing. I have a couple of other things that were sent into space. I can ask you those questions too, but I just want to observe what was explored in an episode of Radio Lab. I think it was called Objects or Objectified. I can't remember, but it was exploring the sentimental value of things. Maybe it was called Things. Anyway, they talked about how you can have some, this can be special. You know, the fact that this went into space and now we're holding it. The fact that this was part of an integral system that kept the astronauts falling at the proper rate and landing in the proper ocean in order to tell the tale of being on the proper orbiting moon.
Proper?
There's many moons. They could have landed on the wrong one.
They could have landed on the wrong one. It is pretty amazing. And I want to take this time.
I do want to smell it.
To apologize to Michael Collins, the third guy who no one remembers. Because you probably have gotten that all your life. Who's the third guy? That's Michael Collins. Is he even still alive? Is Michael Collins still alive? Somebody look that up.
If he's not, ashes, along with Gene Roddenberry and Scotty from Star Trek, can be sent into space.
Can you really? Michael Collins is still alive? He said, I mean, you got to feel for that guy.
Greetings, Michael.
You got to feel for that guy. I mean, really.
Well, he did it, man. He was part of the...
But he didn't get out. He didn't get on the moon.
He's part of history. He was doing his job. I'm sure he had a good reason for not getting out, and he took it for the team. True or false, the first engine-powered flyer made by the Wright brothers went into space. Okay, a part of it.
Yeah.
True. It was aboard the 1969 Apollo 11. Boom, lunar module.
It all comes full circle.
Yep.
We're from North Carolina.
We
played the Wright brothers on the internet at one point.
We did. Both Wright brothers spent so much time making airplanes that they never got married. And it wouldn't have been illegal because they were brothers. True or false? Golf club. Golf club.
A golf club?
Playing some golf.
Yes, the golf club did go into space because somebody hit a golf ball on the moon.
Toward the end of his walk on the moon during Apollo 14 mission, astronaut Alan Shepard informed NASA's mission control that he, quote, happened to have a 6-iron golf club which he had attached to the handle of a lunar scope, or lunar scoop, rather. He also had some balls.
Then he hit
Gotta have balls if you're gonna be an astronaut. After a few unsuccessful swings because of the bulk of his suit, Shepard could only use one hand. He was able to drive one of the balls, quote,
forever,
for miles and miles and miles. Upon his return to Earth, Shepard donated the club to the United States Golf Association.
I've always wanted to do something like that.
Hit
a golf ball in a weird location.
Off the moon?
It's off of something.
I mean,
off a ship, off a cruise ship. But on the moon is pretty cool too.
It went for miles and miles and miles, but it didn't go on forever because there's some gravitational pull of the moon, of course.
But if you hit it hard enough.
If you hit it as hard as Alan Shepard did. They didn't send John Daly to the moon.
John Daly. Let's talk about John Daly. Send John Daly to the moon.
True or false, the world's largest banana. I wonder if I made this one up.
I think he probably didn't.
Why?
Because it doesn't seem like the kind of thing you'd make up.
I did. Although plausible scientists have yet to shoot any world-breaking sized bananas into the cosmos. Yet.
Michael Collins. Let's have him on
True or
the show.
false, the first Furby sent into space. Astronauts have their comfort.
Astronauts find their comfort in Furbies.
Astronauts have their comfort. I don't know what that statement meant. It's false. Let's move on.
Corned beef sandwich. I see that one.
Corned beef sandwich.
I could use one of those right now. Man. How do they corn beef?
There's really no corn involved. It's just...
they send it into space?
The word corn may refer to the coarse granular salts used to cure the beef.
That would be one of the worst things I could imagine if I ordered a corned beef sandwich from someone and I got a corn and beef sandwich.
Is it sent to the moon or not? Or space?
Yes.
Yes. Astronaut John Young smuggled a corned beef sandwich in one of the pockets of his suit on board the Gemini 3.
What?
March 23rd, 1965. Americans were just supposed to consume food from tubes for an experiment, so Young was putting himself somewhat at risk for the 5-hour mission and screwing up the experiment.
Well,
the astronaut got a stern talking to, but it didn't have an effect on his career. He later landed on the moon during the Apollo 16 mission.
What if it was a freeze-dried?
They called him Corned Beef Boy from then on out. Hey, Corned Beef Boy, they going to send you to the moon again? What's that in your pocket? Huh? Got a little corned beef in that pocket?
Was he heating it up like a Hot Pocket?
Yeah. And that's it. That's all the ones I have. If you could send anything to the moon, what could you send and don't say your wife? What?
You asking me?
Yeah. 3, 2,
toenail clippings. That way part of me could be in space and on Earth at the same time.
You said that because in our Space Junk song, we talked about toenail clippings moving through space as space junk could cut your head off.
I probably
at orbital velocity.
Reaccess the same part of my brain that said it the first time.
Orbital velocity of a toenail could just
Decapitate
you. Yeah. Fact.
Yeah.
Here's to that.